can talk
So
about some of those Attack on
what's the
Titan
AOT?
concepts.
AOT. AOT is a good series with a bad ending,
With the thumbnail at the
just
end.
like Naruto.
Do you think the anime will change the ending, or
I
do you think
hope
they'll
so.
just take?
They've changed a lot of stuff, for the better
Interesting, okay.
most of the time.
I haven't. Yeah,
So-
I haven't read the manga, so.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. But
No,
how do you
that's
know
why
the
we
ending?
don't know
then?
the ending because none of us have read
Oh.
the manga.
You don't know the
At least
the
the
actual
ending.
ending. Okay, I'm not gonna. Okay,
No, we
I
don't know
almost-
the ending yet.
Good thing. I didn't spoil anything.
Yeah, that's why I told you don't spoil because we haven't seen it either.
The
I
thing,
hope
you know,
they change it just so I have two different endings to read.
the thing is, like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but do you know that Isayama released like 8 additional pages for the last chapter after it came out?
The alternate ending.
I heard that he had like an alternate ending thing.
Yeah. Okay. It was essentially like he didn't modify the story. He just expanded what happened after the final chapter ended in like 10 pages or so. And I actually think those pages improve the story, but they don't what happened to the characters in the ending. If that makes sense. But
Okay, so
Anyway.
it's really just like a continuation of the story. It's not an alternate ending. It's just
yes,
After the ending.
Yes, correct. I think that actually improved the story. The ending a little bit, but I still don't like the ending. But anyway, like talking about the anime difference, for example, in the Kenny arc and stuff, that arc is way longer and dragged out in the manga. They actually streamlined the arc really well in the anime, and they made the arc actually exciting and stuff, which is important for Attack on Titan, I think. And also, like, the anime art's pretty ugly, to be honest. Like, Isayama is not the most skilled artist, which, I mean,
We
fair, I suppose, but
Absolutely.
like the anime improved just like how good the story looks a lot. It's one of the rare cases where I think the anime is much better than the manga, but yeah.
yeah. I'm starting to think I might only be reading the ending of the manga.
Like, there are some additional things that you if you don't read the manga, like there's a very funny scene. They are interrogating those police guys in the political arc.
Oh God.
Don't get me and I don't think that they don't really include that, but Hange, when they get the guy to crack, she says, do you prefer your right or your left testicle? Implying she was gonna cut off the guy's testicle, and then that's when the guy cracks. I think they changed that in the anime. They made it more mild, of course, and also the violence in the manga is much more pronounced. Like when Levi is fighting Kenny, the first fight they have, like before the fight starts, the assassination police, what's the name, human extermination force, whatever, they explode the heads of Levi's like companions there. Like you see the heads exploding and stuff. In the anime you just kind of see smoke. It's very much,
Yeah, I think that's common
censored.
in anime. They tend
Yeah.
to censor stuff
Well,
in the manga. Naruto
and
did
also-
it too. So
Yeah, but like Attack on Titan is more pronounced because it's really violent sometimes. I don't know if you know this, but in the first season when Armin is like in shock and then he sees a girl, I don't remember, they are kind of minor characters, and she's like trying to resuscitate a guy on the ground that's dead.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I forgot their names, but I know what you're talking about. It was like they were dating or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they were dating and stuff. In the manga, the guy is literally cut in half. Like you don't see that in the anime because they censor it. But like in the manga, you're like, okay, yeah, he's clearly dead. He's cut in half. Like he doesn't have his legs and half of his torso, and you're trying to resuscitate him. Like
Yeah,
it's
because
not
she's
gonna
still
work.
desperately trying to save him.
Yeah, so it makes the scene more impactful because of that.
Yeah, I would
mean,
agree with that. Yeah. Okay, so
There-
that could be worth reading for that.
There are some things you lose in just by watching the anime, but overall the anime is much.
Daigo, what's really funny with Attack on Titan is I'm literally the Daigo Knights of Attack on Titan. Like, the same way that you agree that Naruto is good or whatever, but by God, that's not going to stop you from pointing out its flaws. By the way, the meme around here is that Naruto is a divine 10 out of 10 to me, so it's objectively perfect. There are no flaws. So I'm the perfect person to talk to. So I'm the exact opposite with Attack on Titan. It's a good series or whatever, yeah, but I'll meme. In fact, I will double down. I am the self-proclaimed #1 hater of Attack on Titan, so I will point out everything wrong with it.
Like, what's your biggest problem with it? Like, I guess
dude,
you're
Oodie
talking
only...
about. I guess you're talking about like the change in perspective when you find out that humans live outside the wall and stuff. Is that like the
Oh, actually, I think that's one of the best aspects.
No, he was more so talking about like well, I'll just let him explain it.
Like, for example, like, you hate the substitution jutsu in Naruto, but that doesn't speak on any, like, the bigger general ideas of Naruto. So I just hate really specific things in Attack on Titan. Like, for example, the, Reiner Bertolt reveal, I think it's one of the worst reveals in all of history. Not just fiction, but all of media ever. Also, Annie was brought back just to be a love interest for Armin. She has no other purpose out of that. Eren is objectively right in the rumbling.
Well, we don't know that, Oodie. For all we know, she's something really important in the last episode.
He's not. Eren's not right.
That is something we should talk about. So that's one of the biggest thing that we could talk on. That's the most interesting. Why do you think Eren is wrong with the rumbling?
I mean, he literally wants to exterminate the entire population of the planet.
Uh-huh. Okay. And? So why is that wrong?
Yeah. Genocide's like wrong. I mean,
there we go. That's what I was waiting for. I can justify genocide. I can justify it. No, genocide is right, actually. Specifically in the Attack on Titan universe. Okay, here's the difference. Just like Naruto doesn't use the same laws of physics as our universe, the same goes with Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan's characters are fundamentally different. Their brain is physically altered from our brain. They lack things that we have. Everyone in Marley is evil and deserves to die and is brainwashed, and it's just natural.
No.
That's just a natural law.
Hold on, let me ask you this. Wait, what do you think of Falco? Do you think he's cool? Is he not evil, or was he
You're oversimplifying. You're oversimplifying things.
Well, I'm not doing it. The series itself is doing it because the story writer doesn't understand every aspect of all of life. They aren't omniscient. So I can only go based off what the story writer Isayama knows. So Isayama wrote a simple story. I'm just interpreting it what we have.
I mean, did you like? It's pretty terrifying when you see the rumbling, and like you even get that scene when Eren and the other gypsy camp, and they kind of relate to them and stuff.
Sure, I agree. Like the music,
everyone's dying. Like there were
the color grading. It's very dark. It's very ominous. The compositions of the shots. It's just the production value, though. Objectively, in universe, Eren is right. They tried to genocide him. In fact, they've never stopped trying to. They don't deserve a second chance. I don't know why Parody is even trying to give them a second chance. So
well,
what I'm saying...
it's kind of like how in Naruto... Well, here's the thing, though. If you take one of Naruto's messages is that you can talk your problems out instead of just killing each other.
So you're going to take Naruto's
and that's exactly what Armin wants to do.
And apply it to a completely different series? Yeah, okay. So what I'm saying,
just the general message.
I'm sure that you can agree, fact, like, oh, maybe the partial rumbling is good.
I think the author is trying to tell us that Eren is wrong.
like the mustache twirling guy that sent Dinah Fritz down.
Dude, the mustache twirling dude is the most evil person of all time. He deserves it.
Like, okay, he's pretty evil.
Who are we talking about?
The mustache twirling dude. You know who?
the guy that pushed Dinah Fritz down. He's the guy that fed
the guy who gives his sister to the dogs, and he can die, but like not everyone needs to die. And no, Reiner's mom, fuck her, she can die.
Oh my god.
But not like, but Falco, dude, Falco's cool.
Even like the people in the military, they're all like, they're not all evil. Like you get that sense when Reiner and the others infiltrate the walls. Like they kind of.
This is what I said. Every single person who spent an extended period of time in Parody understands that they're wrong about what they were taught.
I agree. Everyone in Marley potentially could be converted, but you have to look at what it takes to actually convert them. So why did Reiner, Bertolt, or whatever change their minds? Well, it's because they killed 250,000 paradis and then spent 4 more years killing more paradis people. So are we just going to do that with every Marlian?
I don't think it's... No, I disagree. I don't think they changed because they killed the paradis people. It's because they spent time with the paradis. It's because they were around them and they learned that, oh, these people aren't devils. It's not because they killed them. Gabi killed plenty of paradis people, didn't give a shit. She wanted to kill more. It's because she spent time with them and realized, fuck, these people are not devils like we were taught. Why are they so nice? Why are they so cool? That's what they all learned. Like, Reiner, Annie, Bertolt, they started to be attached to the paradis people because, well, they spend time with them. They realize that they don't suck. They're not evil. They're actually nice people.
But Kamui,
and
this
that's why
isn't
they
even
became conflicted.
the right
It's not
argument.
because they...
Like you say, they started to become attached. This implies they weren't attached, not because they but because they couldn't have been, because the natural laws of physics dictate that they had to be brainwashed from the beginning. Everyone in Marley, all of the babies are naturally.
The point is that they were brainwashed because they had no reason to believe that they were wrong. They didn't know the paradis people, so they didn't know that they were told they are devils without meeting them. So and they
but
were
this
told
is
so
where
many
the
freaking
distinction
times,
is
like,
in real life. Not everyone in real life would just automatically believe it. Everyone in Attack on Titan are physically different.
I mean, have you heard of Germany?
But that's not even true. Even then, that's not true because several of the Eldians disagreed with that. They believe that this is bullshit. For example, Grisha, and his gang. But then some Eldians agree, like Reiner's mom. Fuck her again. She believes it. Grisha's parents even, they believed it. But like Grisha himself didn't. Now I know you're gonna say that Eldians are different. But like, they're not. They're all people. Like Eren said, they're all just people.
So Daigo, comparing it to real world,
it's not as though Eren is just killing the people from Marley. He's killing everyone.
I agree, but I think this applies to everyone in the world. Again, everyone is on Marley's side as well. They're all allies of Marley, so no matter what, he kind of has to. I mean,
they're doing war against Marley all the time.
Like I said,
that's the reason for the entire series. They're going after the founding Titan so they can actually win the final war.
Yeah, so they can.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people hated Marley, but no, a lot of people hated Marley. Actually, Marley was very hated, but the kid, like the clan of people where they got drunk and shit in the tents. I mean, they were cool. They didn't deserve to die.
Here's the fundamental difference, though, with what you're describing. So you're again trying to compare it to real life or whatever, to us, because it is relatable. That's the point.
I'm looking at the little people in the story.
No, okay, I understand. I'm getting to it, Kamui. So you compare it. So Daigo compared it to World War II or whatever, Germany. We have statistics, we have numbers, we have done studies, research, we even have case studies. Look at Anne Frank's diary. Not 100% of Germany was on Germany's side. There were soldiers of Germany that were against Germany. Again, Anne Frank's diary, she was discovered, and then the soldier's like, oh yeah, I'm just not going to do anything. Because he wasn't on Germany's side. I'm saying, I understand it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because you're trying to compare it to our real world. Attack on Titan is a ridiculous series, just like Naruto was. Every single person in Marley and across the world naturally is brainwashed to hate paradis because they're told to. There is no one who will just disagree because they lack the physical brain function.
Well, there might have been, we just weren't shown.
It's also because they don't even know exactly what paradis is. Like, it's this island far away. There are devils there. Okay. It's not as though they're going out of their way to destroy them. This is
another thing. And another difference, though. Another difference here is that in World War II, for example, those people who didn't side with Germany, like, physically have seen the Jews and stuff. Like, they know them. At least some of them probably have met them. Whereas paradis, it's like this other world that they've never been to. They've never seen. They only have textbooks about it, saying that they're awful. So there is a little bit of a difference because they have no reason to doubt it. The only ones who had reason to doubt it were the ones who were being oppressed, like Grisha, for example. Well, of course he's going to go against it because he thinks he's a nice guy, but he's being treated like shit. But everyone else, they're just like, well, no, this is what we're told. Like, you guys did all these horrible things. I mean, they're stupid, but like, they don't have any reason to think it's wrong other than just, I guess, morals that they weren't taught.
But again, this goes back to just what you naturally believe in. Forget World War II. Compare Germany today. Some people still think the Nazis were right. Again, they're like a overwhelming minority, but the fact is that they exist because they don't just automatically believe everything they were told. Attack on Titan characters literally lack the brain function to do that. I'm saying 100% of everyone across the world hates parody.
Well, let me ask you this, Oodie. This is going to be a goofy question. Are the characters in Attack on Titan people?
No. Just like Naruto,
well, according to Eren, they are
people.
Eren said, Eren, quote, I tell you, quote.
Okay, people
we're all just
in their
people.
universe aren't people in our universe. You're just trying to draw the distinction.
People.
Okay, Naruto characters are people too, but they also have chakra networks. People don't have chakra networks, but they're still called people.
Define people.
Define people as it is in Attack on Titan or the real world, because there's a difference there. That's the point.
Just define people. It's just define people.
No, make me.
Because I'm pretty sure Eren did not say we're all just people of Attack on Titan's universe. We're just people.
Well, technically, he never said people the way I watch it. He said that ware wa ningen desu. So I don't want to hear it.
What's that translate to?
I'm people. Weird people. But like, just again, real life worlds. We have conspiracy theories. Attack on Titan just doesn't. And this goes back to the simplicity. The writer just doesn't understand that aspect.
They literally do. For example, in Part D, they had all conspiracy theories about what was behind the walls, what was beyond the walls, and then people they were trying to find things out. They were trying to create balloons to fly over the walls. They were killed by the police and all that type of stuff.
I do have an answer.
And you just don't get that. You don't get a sense of.
Are fundamentally different from the rest of the world because King Fritz literally altered their mind to make them forget their memories. So their brain is physically different from the rest of the world. All of parody people.
Yeah, but if anything, they should lack something. The parody people, more than anything, should be the ones that lack the ability to disagree with their superiors because they literally had something removed from their brains.
I disagree. Lack is just the specific word I'm using. The point is that they're changed. Not that they lack, but that they changed something.
Yeah, but
it was their memories
were negatively changed in this sense.
Like, they just forgot about the facts. It's not as though their physiology was changed, their memories.
Yes, it is, because that's Zeke's plan. And that's how it was described, how King Fritz did the same thing, of what Zeke was trying to do. He was trying to physically alter their body.
It didn't say that King... I mean, but they never said King Fritz took away their genitals. He just said they changed their memories.
Okay, you're being semantic here. The point is that they changed... So how do you forget memories? Well, memories are stored in the brain, so clearly the brain has to change in some capacity. And also because the brain is linked with the body, the body's linked with the brain.
I agree with what you're saying. It is a change, but the point is it is a negative change. It's a removing change. It's not a positive change. Parody people don't become smarter because of it or more able to think. They had memories deleted and that's it. So if anything, they should struggle to disagree with history.
And they're also the Ackerman who are immune to it, and they seem normal. Like they're more powerful.
And they didn't even actually question. Actually, the only people who questioned it was freaking Ervin and his dad because they're super smart.
I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and check if the Ackerman are immune. I mean, I don't even know if the Ackerman can turn into.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Ackermans are immune to the memory changing.
They were hunted down because
bloodlines. Yeah. And Ackermans are just one of the bloodlines. The only ones we know of. Every single Eldian is of royal blood by the same notion that they're a subject of Ymir.
I mean, yeah, they're descendants.
Ymir had kids with the guy who was the king. So, like, everyone. Like, Eren is just as much of royal blood as he is a subject of Ymir.
Well, you know what, Kamui? This is actually a perfect example. Royal blood. We don't have Ymir's blood. You know what's in the brain? Blood. Wow, it's almost like they're literally different. Crazy.
No, but my point, though, is that the characters do have the ability, they have the physical ability to disagree with what they're told. It's just most characters don't.
Oh, again,
most
this
characters
is just be a
don't
natural
think
thing.
it through as much. Like, there's a select few who happen to be the smarter characters think, hey, I don't think this is true. Because what about this? What about that? That's where you get a character like Eren. He's just a smart guy in Attack on Titan. I mean, the best way you can explain is that most characters in Attack on Titan are stupid compared to us, and that's true. A lot of them are kind of stupid. when you think about it. We're like, well, that's stupid. This is stupid. That's stupid. But it doesn't mean that no character in Marley could disagree.
It's not an intelligence thing. Because the brain isn't just intelligence. It has all body functions. So it just lacks this one specific function.
I know, but everyone in Eldia, a parody, has the same bodily functions as Eren. He's just one of the only 2 people to think that the history was wrong.
So Diagonite, just to make my stance clear, I'm not justifying genocide in our real world. It doesn't count because conspiracy theories exist. But Attack on Titan's universe is different, so it's justified there.
No, I think your best point about it, though, is, let's just say, because everyone's attacking parody, like, if he doesn't do the rumbling, parody is at risk of extinction. Like, that is very true. That's partly why Eren's doing it. That's also why Eren's just destroyed the whole world, because if he doesn't, then everyone else could just start building weapons to destroy parody. That's a different argument for it.
What do you mean at risk?
For parody's survival, the genocide move might be the best move. Like, that is a fair point to make. That's literally Eren's point. But to say that it's morally right would be, well, it's not morally right. Like, no, I guess that's just a subjective thing. You might think it's morally right, you might not. But that's kind of the point of their disagreement.
And there's also one thing to really note too, when it comes to Eren, because remember, he actually believes he's seen, he saw into the future, so he knows this is unavoidable. So he could be just carrying out this plan because he knows there's no other way. Maybe
exactly. He might not think, "Oh, this is morally right," but more. Yeah, like I don't think Eren is even claiming that it's morally right. He's just saying, "This is what I have to do to save parody." He's literally doing it to save his friends.
He wants to do the rumbling.
Well, he also does it at the same time.
Well, I mean, how are we gonna get the opening?
He's literally shown being conflicted. He's shown being conflicted.
He doesn't do the rumbling. We don't get the rumbling music.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was production changes.
Don't even get me started on my favorite theme.
I'm pretty sure it was supposed to end like 2 seasons ago, technically, but yeah.
Rumbling.
Well, again, the whole story would have been different about that. Like, Annie would not be a female Titan shifter in season 1 anymore. Like, the story would have probably been different.
No, what I mean by that, Kamui, I'm not saying that it should have ended at season 2, the alternate ending. What I mean is that literally the ending of Attack on Titan season 4 was changed because of COVID. So this final special, that would have just been the end of season 4.
They're actually following the manga. They're not making things up.
No, I understand. I completely agree. I'm saying that the original intention was for season 4 to be the final season. That's why it was titled that. But because of COVID, they did change it up.
Oh yeah, that I wouldn't know because I'm watching it well after COVID.
So the rumbling was supposed to be the final opening, which is why we got it. In fact, because the rumbling technically wasn't the start of season 4, we were supposed to get the rumbling when the rumbling was happening, rather than like 4 episodes before the rumbling starts. Like it was intended to be when the rumbling started, because the production value just changed it.
Oh, when the music came in. Okay.
Yeah,
but they're actually following. They're not rushing or making stuff up. They're actually following the manga.
I mean, they are following the manga, but like you can just have different pacing. And everyone that's listening to me knows my idea of the pacing of Attack on Titan. So.
Do you think it's too slow?
Yeah, I do. At most parts, anyways. Yeah.
Most of the time, yeah.
Sometimes it's too fast, but it depends.
Yeah, especially like early on, like between the first and the second season. I mean, there was a valid reason because the manga, it was pretty much catching up to the manga after the first season, and I'm sure they didn't believe it to be the hit that it would be, and that's why it took 3 years before we got the second season.
It was 4 years.
4 years. Because I know I was waiting, like when is this coming back? Come on, But I mean, yeah. So. But yeah, I mean, it does get more questionable over the years, as far as with as the seasons go on, as to why it continue, why we're still getting, these different.
Actually, Hassie, have you read the manga too, like Daigo?
I have not actually. I purposely.
Okay, yeah. So, all right, everyone else except for Daigo has not read it. So, Daigo, because Oodie always jokes about some of the stuff being filler. Are any of the anime episodes actually filler?
No.
Okay.
It's the same thing as you
Actually-
saying that Boruto fillers. Like the EU politics arc, that's filler. That's filler.
No, but that's actually they cut stuff from the manga in the politics arc.
I agree. Yeah, I know. It's still awful.
It's not like Boruto. Like there, 70% of the Boruto anime is not in the manga.
Eren is the most insufferable character in season 3.
I don't like
any
Eren
anime
that
character.
much. I don't like Eren very much.
I agree. I think season 4 he's a different character entirely, so I think he's very good there. But...
Yeah, I like Eren more in season 4. I don't hate Eren, but I don't have any reason to love him.
Yeah,
like...
pretty much the same. Like I'm okay. It's Eren.
Season 1
The
he
characters
was cool.
were never the strong suit of Attack on Titan anyway.
I agree.
Like-
Season 2
Well, I think
Eren,
some of
I
them, like,
hated
for
him.
example, like, I
Season
really
3
like
was the worst.
Armin, Erevin, and stuff, but nobody's sitting here saying, oh, Eren was the best character in season 2. Like, no, Eren was just, like, the lens we were seeing the story through, essentially. But he wasn't, like, the focal... He was the focal point of the plot, but not the story, I guess you could say. Like, he wasn't getting the most character growth. He wasn't, like, the focus in that regard. He's just the guy the bad guys were after.
Well, Eren is just like Naruto in the sense that he's a static character. The point is that he doesn't change, but rather he changes the world around him while the world tries to make him change. So his struggle is to not change rather than to change. Unlike someone like Sasuke or other characters in Attack on Titan. That can be interesting, and I think Eren does a good job portraying that aspect at least. Eren's just very annoying. So it's not that he's a good or bad character,
Yeah.
it's just that I hate him. I just don't like
Yeah, and
him.
I can get several of the scenes why you would say he's being annoying. Hell, Jean even, like, it's funny how, like, it's almost like the writer is making a meme about it with Jean a lot of times, where he's just telling him to, like, shut up and stop whining, like, or Levi too, like, whatever Eren's being annoying, somebody tells him to shut up.
Eren might as
I
well.
like
just be
the
curiosity,
humor
like-
in Attack on Titan. A lot of
Yeah.
this very tragic type of humor to it, like the scene in the tower when they're getting attacked by the Titans and like this nameless scout guy, and he's fighting the Titans. He gets knocked out, and he's like, "I wish I had some alcohol." And then he sees a bottle, and then he's like, "Oh yes, I have some alcohol before I die," and then it's empty.
It's empty.
And this is like really good. I really like that type of stuff in Attack on Titan.
So while we're at it, that part of the story, this is going for both Hasi and Daigo. So do you remember when Ymir found like a can of red herring and Reiner was like, "Wait, you know that too?"
Mhm.
Yeah. What language was on that red herring, by the way?
It was the not Eldian. I always forget Marley's language.
Marley, yeah, that's what we said.
Yeah, Hasi, do you
And
agree?
also it's interesting
After a long
because
time.
they don't have canning technology in Party, and they also don't have, fish, essentially, because there's no ocean.
Yeah.
So it's like a triple thing. Okay, this shouldn't be here. I like the type of stuff. You said you didn't like the Reiner Bertolt review.
Reveal,
like
yeah.
when they
I think
Yeah,
become
he did like a
subvert
certain aspect of
expectations.
it that we disagreed on for like several hours.
We make long streams,
Interesting.
by the way, in case you haven't seen.
I like how
Literally,
I like how it's very sudden and there's not much flair to it. Like it just happens. I like that. It feels realistic to me in a way. Like Reiner's just like, we're gonna do
I
this
thought it
now,
was
and
funny.
Yeah, did
and
you
Bertolt's
like,
like,
the,
what now? What the fuck?
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
I
Like
liked it.
when Reiner's just like, yeah, I'm the armor, he's the colossal titan. Like, and then Bertolt's just like, Rhino, what are you doing?
And the thing is, they already knew in universe, Eren, Mikasa, like everybody already knew that. They had figured that out already, and they were just trying to come up with a plan to capture them. But then, like,
well, at least they
Reiner's just kind of
suspected them. They didn't know for sure,
No,
but they
knew.
suspected.
They knew. Like they there's like the flashback scenes where they're like saying, okay, it has to be
That's my
Reiner because
problem
Well,
with the
no, I
scene,
think
by
in the
the way.
flashbacks they just said like we don't know, like we think they are, but like they didn't have proof yet.
They just inserted a random
highly
6-minute
suspected.
flashback scene in the middle of your biggest moment of Attack on Titan. Crazy.
No, but again, though, like this is where we get to that debate. So, like, I think Oodie was the only one who disagreed, but it's really not that much different from Annie's reveal. It's like the only difference really is that with Annie's reveal, she gets her funny laugh, and then she transforms, and then we get the flashback like pretty soon after the fight starts. Whereas in the Reiner case, the fight doesn't start till after the flashback, but it's like with Annie's, it's like the fight that we got before the flashback is so minuscule. It's basically the same thing.
I don't care about the fight.
But there's a
itself, it's the
very
reveal.
like it's very different because Annie's reveal is much more tense.
Thank
Because
you.
like there's a lot of things happening, and Reiner and Bertolt's is like sudden, and there's like the shock value. It's different, but I like both of them. Like,
As a matter of fact,
I
I,
don't
think
have any
that
problem with
perfectly
them.
encapsulates it. You said the Annie reveal had a lot of things happening. The Reiner and Bertolt reveal was so uninteresting. The first 5.5 episodes of season 2 were just so ungodly boring that you are literally zoned out as an
no, they were
viewer.
pretty good.
That is,
No,
that-
they were
that's
pretty
the
good.
Here's
point.
what Daigo said for the most part, but that said, Oodie, that's because you weren't watching it the same way as I did. I was looking at Reiner Bertolt, calling him out for being sus, and I was rewarded in the season 6 reveal because I predicted that they are those people.
Okay, so
if you
so
right,
we now we
you
have
would've-
to answer
if you
how
didn't watch
I
it at 10
watched
times
it.
speed,
Okay, so
you
for
watched
Daigo
it,
and Hasi,
it's because you played Super Buddy Man and watched it at 10 times speed. That's why.
yeah, so I had the episode playing in the background at like 2 times speed minimum, while playing games in the foreground. That's how I watched season 2.
Yeah, that is
and put it in the
precisely
background.
why it was a problem.
Yeah, then it's probably not gonna hit as it's intended to. I don't know. Like I actually think the best reveal is Ymir's reveal as the Jaw Titan. I think
like
that's
Ymir's.
actually
good
the
one,
best
yeah.
one. I don't know. It's very
I agree.
epic when she jumps down the tower and stuff, and you
I
can
like
actually
all of them.
see Bertolt was about to bite his hand when Ymir
Yes.
jumped. He was like, "Okay, I'm doing this."
Who do you think the best character in Attack on Titan is in terms of like best written?
I like Erwin.
Levi's just the coolest.
I think Erwin's very interesting.
Yeah, Erwin's good.
Yeah, I think Erwin and Armin are two of my top contenders. I really like both.
To be fair, I didn't
Yeah.
know who
Yeah, I was
Erwin
coming-
was until his final 5 episodes. But other than that,
Well,
I mean, because you were
watched it
watching.
wrong.
oh yeah, no.
Yeah, it's
No,
supposed to
keep
be-
in mind,
Oodie
keep in mind.
just
I watched
watched it.
season
Like,
1
Oodie
when it
didn't
first came
really
out,
watch it.
and then I rewatched it because I had like 6 years to rewatch it. And then I've seen Attack on Titan season 2 and 3 and 4 or whatever. I've rewatched that a few times as well at this point. So it's just the anime did a bad job of portraying who
No,
Erwin
Oodie,
is
this is the
before
problem.
season
In one watch, I knew more about Attack on Titan than you did in like 6 watches. Because I actually watched it.
You didn't know Bertolt's name until we told it to you halfway through season 2.
No, I figured it out. I just kept forgetting his name, okay? I knew who he was. I just kept forgetting his name.
Listen, it's
I have
the
it
anime's
memorized at
fault
this
for
point.
making Erwin and Reiner look the same.
No, they don't even look the same, dude. They just have blonde hair. They don't look anything alike otherwise. In fact, if you want to get technical, Erwin's sides are like kind of more brownish in color,
Whatever.
whereas Reiner, that's not the case. So their hair isn't the same. Take that.
Should have been the same character. It's nonsense. In fact, Erwin should have been the armor titan. It should have never been.
No,
him.
dude. It was always Reiner.
No.
Oodie is just salty because he thought
Like,
that
if
he was
you-
the armor type.
if you
Wait,
go
Oodie,
back-
did you think Pixis was the colossal?
Yes.
If you go back to season 1 when Eren's Titan and Scout's training, when he talks about it and he says, "Oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. It looked like a normal Titan to me," and then they cut to Reiner like kind of staring at him. That was foreshadowed, like
Listen.
from the
Oh,
beginning.
there's a lot of foreshadowing. I want to do a
Yeah.
video on
Not
like the foreshadowing,
you
like
cannot
every single
count it
sign
as
that he was seeing.
foreshadowing. When in a tense moment, background characters look tense. That's not foreshadowing.
No. There's, like I said, the season 6 ones, dude. Like I sent that screenshot. It's probably way too high to find in chat now. But Bertolt, dude, he looked sus. It was obvious.
But they all look sus
Wait, that
because
is the
they
face
all
of
look
a
tense
sussy
in
man.
the background.
No, but they didn't look. Look, there's a difference between looking. The way that they looked tense is different between character to character. Like the way Connie looked tense in a scene didn't make him look sus. He just looks like worried. Like in the way that Bertolt and Reiner look worried is as if they're going to get found out for something. Like it's just
Such a
a vibe
liar.
to get if you look closely. No, I'm not. How do you think I predicted it? It's because of the way they looked. It's hard to explain with words. It's just kind of like the best way to explain is they looked.
Actually, this is an interesting topic. Hassie and Daigo, did you guys predict any of the Titans before they were revealed?
I got spoiled by Reiner and Bertolt. But this was like in 2013, like when the anime was coming out. Oh yeah, Titans. I was like, what? That was pretty boring. I don't think I figured Ani out before like the episode they were gonna go and catch her. Like when they started the thing, then okay, yeah, then she's the Titan. Yeah. And Ymir, I didn't see Ymir coming like at all. Yeah. I think Ymir is the one that has the least. But I like her thing.
Most of her sussiness just comes from that scene when she's opening the can of, where she has the can of fish. Like, prior to that, she doesn't really have as much.
Yeah.
But actually, fun fact, this is Oodie will just love to laugh at this. When I first saw that, I thought it was Titan language because at the time I thought Reiner was the armored Titan, and I thought what's her face, Ymir might be a Titan too, and I thought it was Titan language. It wasn't illogical. I didn't know Marley existed at the time.
Someone else named CAMCAM, she's a mod around here. She thinks that it's not Marley language. She thinks that, oh, Marley just imported their fish, so that's why Marley had fish, even though Marley is on a harbor with fish and boat. Okay.
No, the reason why I said, like, I went back and specifically checked the Ymir flashback to confirm this, like, last stream, but Ymir is from Marley. She's on the exact same thing that Grisha was on when all the people got turned into the Titans. Like, it was the exact same scene and everything. She's from Marley, and that's why she can read it. And that's why Reiner is so shocked that she can read it, because that's why he says, Ymir, and he stops, and she glares at him. Like, which actually, this is funny. Like, I feel like Ymir should have known at that moment that Reiner is the armored Titan. She probably did figure it out, actually, because of that.
Oh, yeah,
like, yeah, we're both from Marley, aren't we? Like,
because Reiner, he read it and he was like, "How do you know?" And then he kind of catches himself and says, "I can't read this at all." He was trying
exactly.
To
He said, "I can't read it," and like, it was funny. He's just like, wait, why can't you read this? Wait, oh, I can't read it. Like,
specifically,
but yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, I just wanted to jump in real quick on that note, because I mean, I feel like Attack on Titan in general, I think they've done pretty decent of a job, not really given too many hints as far as like the reveals, or maybe it just might be me just not seeing it, just not being a good barometer for seeing it. But I mean, I didn't really see any of the reveals happening or came to any conclusion. But I don't know if you guys think differently. But
I don't know. It feels like I'm the only one who somehow.
Don't ask Kamui, because
I feel like
God
Oodie and Trippy,
forbid it wasn't the most obvious thing ever. Any 2-year-old could have seen it coming since episode 1. So let me show you how terrible it was for me. So I did not predict any of them because I didn't even realize there were Titan shifters even after Annie. But that's besides the way. So Annie doesn't count because there's only one at that point. You have to establish a consistency, Kamui. It goes back to the statistics. You took statistics.
Annie wasn't one, though. She was 2 at that point because Eren already existed.
Eren doesn't count either because he's the main character. Anyways, I thought the armor Titan and
the armor Titan showed up in the first chapter.
Exactly, and then we just didn't see them again. So I didn't think they were Titan shifters. I thought they were just like abnormal Titans because we were literally described abnormal Titan like 2 episodes later.
But then.
Yeah, but the thing is,
in the second attack, the Colossal attacking, meaning he is intelligent, like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, so they mentioned intelligent, and then honestly, for me, what kind of gave everything away is when Armin, because like I said, Armin is a trustworthy person because he's usually right. Once he said like he was confident that the female Titan was a human in a Titan body, I was like, okay, it looks like Annie, fights like Annie, that's Annie. And then after that, it got revealed, and I was like, okay, it's definitely Reiner and Bertolt. They started being sus, and I was like, yep, okay, there's that. Like, I trusted Armin, essentially.
Oh my god. Even though Armin's wrong on several things, but anyways. So, Hassie and Daigo have either of you seen TerraFormars, the anime?
No.
Oh wait, I'm not either.
Very good, Kamui. Yes, you aren't. Congratulations for knowing that. Okay, but so the whole point of TerraFormars, they aren't shifters, they're just natural enemies. So in this case, it's literally like cockroaches that are like the size of big humans, like athletic humans or whatever. So like they can just kill humans. They have like a hive mind thing to where they're intelligent, but again, they're not like humans or anything. They just want to kill all humans. They don't have any goals, any motives. They're not from a different planet like Marley or something. They're a force of nature that is out for revenge against humanity. It's scary in that aspect because no matter what, even though humanity fights back, it's always a losing battle because the cockroaches are always one step ahead no matter what, and that's the most terrifying aspect of the show. They are ruthless, heartless, and they want to kill you. The same with the Titans. The Titans don't need to eat you. In fact, they're sustained based on the sun. In fact, they literally throw you up. So it's not that they're eating you, it's that they're killing you in the most grotesque, heartless, ruthless kind of way. It's brutal. It's a force of nature. That's what the Titans were originally portrayed as. So then the fact that you bring in Marley, okay, sure, it's fine, it's cool, and then same with Titan Shifters, it's still good writing, but it's not what we were shown. It's a different series. Because TerraFormars, it always stays the same enemy. It's not revealed later on, oh, this is the actual real enemy, and the cockroaches weren't the enemy all along. In fact, they were your comrades. It's nothing like that. I just like that aspect better, to just stay with what you wrote. It's kind of similar to your idea of why you don't like the Otsutskis, just because they're aliens. That's not what Naruto's about.
Like, there is precedent for them to have intelligence ever since the beginning, because the Colossal and the Armor, they attack the wall very purposely. So there's that. So it's
yeah, they mentioned the intelligence thing in the second attack specifically. About the way that he avoided Eren's attack or whatever it was. He did some stuff and they're like, whoa, this one has intelligence.
No, but I agree. That's not what I was getting at. I was getting at the Titans should be intelligence, but they just shouldn't be human. Like, again, the cockroaches, the reason they're scary isn't because they're physically
they just could be
stronger.
Smart Titans, the way a dolphin's a smart animal, basically.
Yeah, it's because they're smart, so they can use strategy. They do use strategy, and it does get the upper hands on the humans every single time. It's a sort of
easily could have gone that route.
That was you could say this is a better story. I actually prefer the enemies being human, but you can say that this is an interesting story as well. But it was set up from the beginning that the Titans are not intelligent, and there are just these outliers like the Colossal and the Armored. So it's not as though they changed everything up in the middle of it.
I just liked it better when it was a fundamental force of nature. It's nature's wrath against humanity. It's man versus environment.
Yeah, they could have gone that route, and I think it could have been good still.
Well, that's how it was.
That would have pertained to a shorter story, like the one that you mentioned about the shorter version. That would have worked well in that case, because there's not as much you would expand upon in terms of, the lore, I guess. There's not a whole other country to go to, or whatever.
It worked because there was a meaning to life and a value to death. Nowadays, its characters are sacrificing themselves just because. Look at Hange. Hange didn't need to die. She just felt like it, so she just kind of did. There was no horrifying aspect to it. She wasn't eaten. She just kind of exploded.
I mean, so there's the scene with there's a crowd and they're about to fall into an abyss, and the Titans are coming from behind. There's no way to go. And then there's a mom with a baby, and she kind of tosses her baby up so that they can pass through the crowd to save the baby a bit longer. And when you're reading the manga, I think the spread of the baby crying, it's whoa, this is crazy shit. I like Attack on Titan.
So I think that is consistent with the horror aspect that it's trying to be. It is supposed to be a horror genre, but it switches more to an action sort of a dramatic kind of thing. Yeah,
I mean, but it was action oriented from the beginning too.
Kind of, but not.
There are elements to what you're saying. I would argue, instead of that's kind of the progression of the stories. Instead of man versus beast, it's man versus man now. Because in the beginning, it's really the Titans are a beast. It's a force of nature. It's not humans. And we learn later on that they're all humans. That's just something we learn. And then once we learn that, we start to just get more of a human versus human war. But that's just the progression of the world outside the walls. So I don't know. It's
the thing is that from the beginning, Attack on Titan was a show about the war between India and like from chapter 1, it was Marley invading Parody. So the war is from chapter 1, and then you get the perspective of the people of Parody. They don't know what's happening. They don't know they're being attacked by a foreign invader. Yeah, it's Titans, but this is how they're doing their attack. And then when they learn about the information, so this was happening all along. You change the perspective.
Yeah, and that's
I think
also
it's very
true too. Like from the beginning, it really is man versus man. They just don't know it.
Well,
and that's the big plot twist.
It's not the point that they don't know it, because we learn it when they learn it, which is how you should do it in a story. But it's when the audience learns it that matters. So, like, bringing it to, like, Naruto, Zetsu's manipulating the story in chapter 1, technically, but that doesn't mean that you like it later on, or necessarily, or anything like that. It's just a shift of the story in totality. Which is, they set up the expectations episode 1, and then they betrayed the audience's expectations later on, when they changed the story.
And I would also agree, in terms of, like, the way she died, it is very different from how Eren's mom died, but I don't think it needed to be the same. Because it's like, the way, I'm trying to think of a good example, but like, it's a sacrificial death versus just like being killed. So like,
well, that's what Carla was.
Like,
Eren's
who's a
mom,
character who's
episode
just
1. So it doesn't need to be the
like
same.
I said, Eren's mom,
like,
Carla, is a character who's just killed. I don't know. Like, this is the first thing I thought of. It's the same arc or section of the story anyway. Similar anyway. It's not the same arc technically, but like Hayate is just killed by Baki. He's not like a sacrificial death, but then Hiruzen is a sacrificial death. I mean, like, oh no, we weren't betrayed because the character was killed versus sacrifice. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, I don't know. I disagree on that.
The reason we got interested in the story in the first place is because it's about humanity surviving. It's about their survival and their desperate need and plead to want to. It's not that they want to, it's that they need to survive. So when we see Carla's mom die, she is sacrificing herself in the same way that Hange is, but it feels different because it's going against what was interesting in the first place, which leads me to be uninterested. I'm now bored with Hange's
I guess you
death.
can see, yeah, you can definitely argue with the whole humanity survival versus just like LDS survival aspect.
And they're both
yeah, but
women.
I wouldn't really consider Carla really a sacrifice. She just couldn't move. That's why she couldn't run away. She didn't sacrifice herself.
She tells Eren to go.
No. Yeah, but that's not a sacrifice. She just literally was unsavable.
Oh, it's the concept of a sacrifice. She's not literally a sacrifice.
No, it's not. It's not a sacrifice. She just literally could not be saved. God did not sacrifice himself to Tsunade. He just couldn't be saved.
No, I like Hanji's death and Carla's death. I like both of their deaths.
Well,
there we go.
I like them both too, but again, they're two different stories. They shouldn't have been in the same manga or the same anime. So
I mean, why did they have to be the same exact? Like, why?
See, that's where I disagree. I don't think there's any problem with them being in the same manga and anime. They're just two different types of deaths. Like I said, like, great, lovely example. Okay, Gato, his head's chopped off by Zabuza, kind of in a revenge way. Hayate is killed by Baki is terms of a war, essentially, Sand versus Leaf. Hiruzen sacrifices himself so that he'll take away Orochimaru's arms. Itachi dies kind of sacrificially, just like, they die different ways. That's just how a lot of characters die. Like, some people are murdered, some people sacrifice themselves.
You're being too specific, though. I don't care about any universe. I care about more generally, like the narrative implications. How does it feel? What's the mood?
But that's the same in the other cases. They're completely different narrative implications. One person's being murdered. All the Uchiha clan that were brutally murdered by Itachi is a completely different implication from Hiruzen sacrificing himself against Orochimaru. It's completely different.
It's completely different, not in the way that you want it to be. This does not work as an analogy because it's completely different. You're trying to compare it as an analogy, but they're completely different, which is the point. So I agree, it's completely different, just not in the way that you want it to be.
All of them are all the deaths are different, but they're all in the same series.
Your face is different.
Okay. I will say, like, as far as like when it comes to the death. So yeah, like you said, Eren's mom, the first episode. I mean, it was a different show, in the beginning, and it's about humans versus Titans. But over the seasons, it does change into something more, because we're trying to you're digging deeper into what's causing this, and I think that's what I feel like. I mean, obviously, that's what Isayama's been trying to do with the series. It was never going to be just straight up a humans versus Titans type of series.
It was supposed to be that originally.
Get political.
Actually.
No.
Yeah,
it was never supposed to be that.
Oodie,
check out those interviews.
He made his mind like very early on. It could have been episode 6 when he changed his mind.
Or it could have been when he made the interview, which you can just compare that to where the manga is at the time. Pretty sure it's the same interview where he's talking about Sasha in season 2. How he was gonna compare, or how he was gonna end Sasha in season 2.
You have the sources available to do this?
No, just look it up.
Well, trust me, bro. I have the sources.
Because, like, well, the thing is, like, there's a lot of, they've been pointing out, there's a lot of signs to humans being involved with this pretty early on.
Chapter 1 with them destroying the gates. And also, Grisha telling Eren, okay, Eren, basement. This was a setup.
Yeah, if you can control this power, like, that's implied.
Oh, yeah, him injecting serum there. So...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so when did you decide this? Like, episode 2?
Okay. Well, while you look for that, I'll just say, tonally aside,
I'm not looking for it. I'm counting on you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not looking for it. So, even if you want to argue, oh, the music is more beautiful, that doesn't count. It's more chill. It's a dubstep. We argue it's a techno dubstep, just for the memes. Hanji's death, that theme, versus, like, Carla's death in episode 1.
Techno dubstep.
Yeah, it's the same song, but it's a techno dubstep version of it. It's a remix because it's a beautiful, chilled version. Anyway, if you don't want to argue that, okay, you don't want to argue it's literally more beautiful. Hanji is a human burning to death, and it looks good. She looks like a pretty comet. She is pretty in her death. Okay, that doesn't count.
Well,
it's literally brighter colors in general.
Hanji wanted a cool, pretty death.
No, she
whereas
doesn't.
Carla did. Yes, she did. She literally said,
okay, well, this
don't
one
stop me, Levi.
Totally aside.
I want to go out in a cool way.
No, she doesn't say that.
Totally
aside, she's a selfish character. Why does she want to die specifically now and here?
Because
the Titans are going to reach the plane and they're not going to be...
But that's not going to happen. She doesn't need to kill herself to save that. Other characters can help
this is where we... Hold on, let me actually go find the episode.
In fact,
because...
Kamui can speak.
Alright, I'm sorry, the timestamp of the episode, because, yes, technically speaking, I do agree that it's not portrayed as though she couldn't have made it out, because it does seem as though she could have, possibly made it out, but she doesn't.
In fact, other characters say, well, let's just help you so that you don't have to die. And she's like, nah, I'll just do it alone so that only I die. Okay, so Hanji's just gonna die, sure. So are we forgetting that they're trying to save the world? So I guess the impact, the stakes of the world, that just doesn't matter to her. Stopping Eren? Who cares about that? I just want to die here, even though, you know what? Even though I could just die in like 3 hours after we stop Eren, I could just put my manpower to that to actually guarantee our success rather than make it unlikely. But no, I'll just go out here. This is a cool spot to just go out on. Sure, let's just stop here. Daigo Knights, it looks like James Shields wants you to rewrite Attack on Titan next. What do you have to say to that?
I don't think I have the... I don't like Attack on Titan enough to write it.
There you go.
And I don't think it even needs that.
Alright.
Maybe the last chapter. Maybe the last chapter.
Yeah.
Like the ending or something.
I like how Kamui agrees that he doesn't know what happens.
Well, I know that, like we've discussed it seems like a lot of people don't like the ending, so...
Yeah,
he
like
even said that too, so I'm not surprised he would pick it.
By the way, Joseph saying Eren was right is like saying